All right, the parents of two of the Americans killed in the Benghazi attack are suing Hillary Clinton. Sean Smith's mother, Patricia, you remember her from the RNC, and Tyrone Wood's father, Charles, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in federal court, blaming the 2012 attack in part on former Secretary of State Clinton's use of a private email server. Here's Pat Smith at that RNC last month.
I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son. That's personally.
Clinton's campaign has responded to the lawsuit, saying while they can't imagine the family's pain, 9 different investigations into the attack found no evidence of any wrongdoing by Clinton. Well, here to discuss, it's Fox News national security analyst KT McFarland. Welcome back, KT.
Good to be with you.
So, you can only imagine the grief that these families have. They want answers. They watched Secretary Clinton on Capitol Hill more than once testify about Benghazi. They read some of these, the report from FBI Director James Comey about her server, and some of the reports, what might have been on there, including former U.S. Ambassador Chris Stevens' whereabouts.
Yeah, his schedule.
Yeah.
You know, look, I'm a mother and now a mother-in-law of naval officers, and there is nothing, I just can't imagine what these families are going through, and the loss and the anger and the resentment and the bitterness and the doubts and the questions and all of that. And I must say, I am Hillary Clinton's biggest critic on Libya, on ISIS, on the way she handled Benghazi before, during, and after. But I'm going to break with most conservatives and say I don't think it's a good idea to have these lawsuits. Because the lawsuit is for the equivalent of foreign policy malpractice. Now, I don't think Hillary Clinton's evil. I don't think these people were plotting. And to take after the fact and then have a legal case against them for bad decisions, horrendously bad decisions, horrendously bad decisions that resulted in the loss of life, I think it's a very bad precedent for the United States to set. Because what it means is that any future leader, foreign policy leader, president, secretary of state, secretary of defense, are they going to be held responsible, I mean, criminally liable?
I mean, there are some people who say, yeah, because there's no recourse. And they look at these families and what they've been through. And
there's nothing.
What does it take for any of this to stick to Hillary Clinton? What does it take for her to have accountability other than the superficial lip service that she's paid, saying the buck stops with me, this happened on my watch? She doesn't really mean it. There is no accountability. It feels like there's no justice. So where else do they turn if not the courts?
See, I think they turn to the political process. I mean, ultimately, we have the right
She's going to be the next president of the United States.
No, she's not going to necessarily be the next president. If she, look, the people who are complaining about her foreign policy malfeasance go out there and make the case to the American people. And they have, and those parents have, and they should continue to do so. And then the only way is to make her pay a political price for this. Because otherwise, we are always going to be like a banana republic, indicting the previous administration for whatever the mistakes they made. So while I sympathize with them and my heart breaks with them, and while I am Hillary Clinton's biggest critic on these things, I just think it's a mistake to go in the direction of suing them personally, because then it just happens again and again and again. And then who are we? We're just another banana republic.
I know, but you see that some of the president's immigration executive orders have made their way through the courts, and the decisions have gone against the president. And, you know, sometimes the legislature, sometimes the ballot box, it's just not enough. And I understand that, you know, you don't want the person that you support who might be in power one day to be subject to the same process. There has to be justice, and there just isn't any. And I really fear that she's going to be the next president, and she won't pay any political price.
I ultimately have a really almost mystical faith in the political process and the American people to do the right thing.
Do you think Benghazi is enough to get Donald Trump elected?
I don't think it's enough, but I think it's one of many things. You know, look, we're now in the face with somebody who the majority of the American people think is a crook and a liar. And on the other hand, somebody else who they think is crazy. She's never going to be anything other than a crook and a liar. But he could dispel the notion and show, like Reagan did in 1980, that he is, in fact, a legitimate candidate.
He's running out of time. He's absolutely running out of time.
That's why we're going to keep tuned in, right, to your show.
Thank you so much. I always love your insight, and I appreciate you coming by. Thank you.